right, guys. Welcome to the Sunday Backcap for Stage 2 playoffs. And we're both here, ready to go. So what's going on, Kel?
Not too much. We're here going to discuss some Overwatch League Stage 2 playoffs. Pretty big games. A lot happened this weekend. But honestly, not a whole lot that should have really surprised anybody if they had been paying attention to anything that had happened up to this point.
Except for maybe London.
Yeah, that was definitely...
That was a strange match for London. Oof.
It really was.
I don't know about that one. They were terrible.
Oh, they were absolutely awful. That was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from that team.
Or any team.
Yeah.
That was like watching one of those, and I know it's London, but that was like watching one of those matches with like Florida going up against Vancouver or something like that. They got full held 3 times on maps they picked.
Absolutely ridiculous. Like, how are you gonna play that poorly?
I know, and I don't know. The only thing I could think of is, and I was saying this, is they know that the 3-3's done, so they're just like, fuck this, check out. We're gonna go practice dive again.
That's really the only thing that makes sense. And they looked really good on Oasis too. That's the weirdest part. Like, they looked really solid to start, taking that win, and then
Oasis of all maps.
Yeah, right. For that team, my God. And then you're not gonna get anything, not a single point
from there on out.
Yeah, after you do that, like, you're just getting full held.
I know, and it's not like Hangzhou's bad, but they're not that good.
Exactly. Like, I mean, and that's not to take anything away from Hangzhou, because they played phenomenally in this game.
Oh yeah, they did. They were fantastic, but London was just trash.
Yeah, like, they were basically playing really well against, like, a kid who's basically, like, tripping up the field in a kid's soccer game because his shoes are untied.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically what it looked like.
It looked like London's shoes were tied together.
Yeah.
If you can even go that, give him that much slack. I don't know. That was bad. Well, once again, too, with the playoffs, we also had the scenario where all the games leading up to the big game were absolute garbage.
Yeah.
There was really nothing compelling other than...
I would say, honestly, the best game was Shanghai San Francisco.
And that was just Shanghai hanging with them for a little bit.
Right.
I mean...
for Shanghai to get the first map loss that San Francisco has had this entire stage is incredible. It was huge, and then for them to hang in as well as they did up until the very end, like, it was really not till like the last couple of points on Rialto that you're like, Shanghai might be able to come back in this map at least.
Yeah, they showed up
a little bit on Paris too.
Yeah,
but like, you never felt like Shanghai was completely out of it until the very end.
No, definitely not. I felt more like they were actually showing up more than the other teams did.
Yeah, absolutely.
They showed that they deserved to be there. I mean, yeah, going up against San Francisco and Vancouver is no easy task.
Right.
But, I mean, Vancouver basically just wiped the floor with everybody. I don't even remember... I didn't watch the Dallas match. I was just like, I saw it, I was like, ooh, that was ugly. Okay. Then they buried Hangzhou. Mm-hmm. They did to Hangzhou what Hangzhou did to London, essentially. Yeah,
pretty much.
And San Francisco fucked up everybody they played.
Really, everybody.
That's why I meant San Francisco, Hangzhou. New York did New York things, you know. Yeah, they didn't play bad, though. They didn't play bad.
New York played exceptionally well against the Gladiators. I mean, that was just a clinic. And
they just got outclassed in a meta they're not great as everybody thinks they're in by Vancouver. Right. They can't handle the aggression.
Yeah. No, the aggression, and I feel like the exact same thing would have happened had they played San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too. And that leaves us with, one match to talk about, I guess. But, I mean, there was other things going on. We can hit on that, and we're going to hit on some other things before we dive into the final. Yeah. So, just an update on what's going on. We're going to be doing the podcast roundtable has grown.
Yes.
So, guys, get ready. Starting next week, this is a two-night affair over 2 weeks. We're going to split up. Kel's going to do the first weekend night, which I believe is the 18th.
Yeah, it's going to be next Saturday night. And then the following week on Sunday, the 26th, Misfit is going to be on that one. There's still some of the details are still getting hammered out of who all is going to be on there. So expect some full details to be coming out from us and from the other guys that are involved. Mostly Totally Drunk, who's kind of the mastermind behind all of it. And
well, he's the mastermind anyway.
Right. He's really the guy that's he sets up all of this stuff, and he's going to be moderating the first one. We're not sure who's moderating the second one. It's most likely going to be Bob, but we shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so expect that.
Expect that.
It's going to be a weird week because we have the All-Star game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday is the All-Star stuff this week.
My guess. Give them a bigger break.
Yeah, exactly. I think they wanted to just get them in there, get it done. So, because I feel like they want to give some of these guys opportunities to go home for a week or two.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I mean, most of your players are flying halfway across the world, so makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I just got one thing to say. I normally don't talk about gear and that kind of thing on here. But those Atlantic jerseys are fucking hype, man.
Oh my god. Yes.
I hate All-Star jerseys, like, on the whole, across the board for every fucking sport.
Because most of the time they're straight garbage.
But those Atlantic ones are great. The Pacific ones aren't.
The Pacific ones are
But the Atlantic ones
would be the Pacific ones would be really good if the Atlantic ones weren't
that
good as they are. Yeah.
You're like, but
it's ridiculous.
That's one of those I was looking at. I was going, I could see myself wearing one of those All-Star jerseys, and I'm not an All-Star. Like I said, I'm not an All-Star jersey person at all.
Absolutely.
But and then there was a little bit of news going on. My team made a big move.
Yeah.
I think we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to work out for both teams. Mm-hmm. Where they send a bunch of NA players, McGravy. I think they sent McGravy, Apply, and Shax to the Valiant for Fate. Now, Fate's going to fill a hole on that team. I mean, I respawn, as I've been calling him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's got potential to be a really good move. Just for whatever reason, Fate was just not playing at the same level that he was last season.
Yeah.
It's looking rough.
I don't know if it was the meta. I mean, there were points too where we were talking in the first stage where he wasn't getting bubbles. He wasn't getting bubbled properly. Mm-hmm. Transcendences and harmony orbs and all the stuff. I don't know if they ran goats that good, but they needed to make a move too. The Valiant. They needed to, and honestly, McGravy's great. I mean, he's not going to take Space's spot.
No.
At least it doesn't seem that way, but
But I think he can find a spot on that team.
Yeah.
I think. And
I think they're trying to build an academy team too, because we're moving it. And they had weird stuff go on with their academy team, kind of like Houston. So they needed some sort of a base, I guess. But I mean, they got a couple of good guys. Shax might even start. I would assume he's a main tank, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shax is.
I would think. So. Yeah, I think so.
And Fate's gonna help the Mayhem out. It's not gonna solve all the problems. I know a lot of people that are the other person that's a fan besides me, I guess.
Right.
the 3 or 4 of us that are out there, they're like, oh, this is great. I'm like, it's going to be good, but you still have problems at off tank with Zephyr, who's mediocre. You don't have a backup there. Your DPS are good. Now, this is if we go into a 2-2-2 meta, the narrative could change. You still have a bad off tank, which still matters a lot.
Oh yeah.
You move up to 15th. You're 1 in 13 right now. You're not getting any kind of playoff scenario.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be a team that's going to benefit from these potential changes.
Yeah.
That we're seeing, or that things are still not confirmed. I feel like we're probably at this point, because of how it's all laid out, I feel like we're not going to hear anything on that front officially until after the All-Star game.
Yeah,
but
I would think somewhere around Tuesday, like when they start amping up the anniversary hype, because it's usually right around now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the date to watch for has been the 16th, so we might get an official announcement on and that would be during the
All-Star game.
The All-Star game, so
that makes sense.
Very possible. Because the 16th is the day that the teaser, or that last teaser that they put out at the end of the event
with Doomfist.
With Doomfist and all that. The 16th is the date, so there could be something with that. We'll see. I'm intrigued to see what happens as far as that goes. I'm really, really curious if there's going to be more than that. I feel like we're going to get some big... I mean, regardless, I'm anticipating some big changes coming to...
the game itself,
Yeah, the game itself, exactly. Like getting like a completely revamped competitive mode is pretty much what I'm anticipating right now, and those things would go hand in hand.
Yeah, and I think them, like what Slasher was saying with running the lock 2-2-2 first in Overwatch League makes sense, because we were talking about that before, where you gotta have guilds and SR bullshit and all that stuff for different roles. So, I mean, throwing it into something where the teams are already in a guild,
right?
Essentially,
right. Like you don't have to. Like really, all you gotta do is just enforce that.
Yeah.
In your custom games and that, and like you don't have to do any of the other stuff. And
you're not worried about SR and all that crap.
It sets a precedent, but then it's also giving them enough time that they can develop a meta pretty much by the time the playoffs come. You've got plenty of time. You got some time to practice because it's during the All-Star break. You've got time to really meld and figure out how best to play a 2-2-2 meta again,
and move players around if some teams might need to.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at a team like for instance Toronto. They're built 3-3.
Yes.
A couple other teams like move their team into a 3-3, like Boston. They're built for 3-3, kind of. But did you see where? So some teams like San Francisco, Vancouver, like the top 5 are set. There's other teams that might need to do some moving around. Maybe putting
some teams might need to do some moving around. I think it changes the power dynamic at the top of the league as well. And expect us to talk a lot more about this stuff, especially if it gets confirmed. So that's what I'm kind of hoping that they announce it on Thursday, because that would work out perfectly for our purposes.
Yeah, especially with the roundtable and all that.
Yeah, with our roundtable and videos and all that. And I feel like they kind of get that as far as like content creators in general too.
Right. Yeah. They need they like the fuel.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. All we're doing is basically giving them more viewers, or just talking about their product even more. So it certainly doesn't hurt them.
No. And other than that, I think that's pretty much been the news for the week.
Yeah.
Or the weekend.
Yeah, not really anything too crazy. Mostly just
just
the playoffs. And so let's talk a little bit more about the playoffs. So we kind of discussed Thursday a little bit on Friday, but Saturday is kind of where we had some weirdness.
A little bit.
I've been really underwhelmed with the I guess you would call them the conference finals.
Yeah, they've been
or the semifinals.
They've been kind of bad.
Both times in a row, it's just been complete stomps by the teams that eventually went to the finals.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of gets into that. I don't want to call it panic mode, but like when you're watching a Super Bowl and one team comes out and they start fast, and the other team's playing catch up, and then there's panic.
Mm-hmm.
But from watching some of the matches, New York didn't panic because they were still in defensive mode. They're still Jonak just tranced now for stage 3. Anyway,
I mean, really, the only map that New York even looked. I mean, actually, no, they didn't look terrible throughout the whole thing, but like you would tell that they were just not.
They're not in the same plane of reality as Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
3-3.
Like they're just not clicking in the right way to just be dominant. Because like even when you felt like they have a chance to win this fight, like there was just always something lingering there that you're just like probably not though. Because I mean they just won this fight, but is it gonna be enough to win the map? And
and then there were
almost really was.
And there were underlying things too. When they would win the fight, someone would use an ultimate too late.
Yes.
So then they would go into the next fight down an ult that they should have had.
Yes.
Usually a defensive ult.
It was either
Anima was dead. Anima was dead half the match. So.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And Jonak, he's the best player in the league. More or less, but the book is out on how to beat this guy, or to beat them with this guy.
Also, I mean, honestly, is Jonak the best player in the league right now?
I don't know. I watched
starting to look like
I don't know. Twilight and Violet look better as
Sinatra,
far as. Well, I was going as far as at that position.
At that position, yeah, I would say Twilight and Violet are both above Jonak right now with the way that they've been playing.
Hey, and Super today and like for the whole stage has been a monster.
If there was such an award, Comeback Player of the Year, 100% would be Super right now. Like, at the end of last season, that was one of their big question marks is he going to be good enough? And even at the start of this season, you had Smurf starting over him. So. Yeah,
and you had all those. They were doing the super good, super bad shit on the desk and all that. Showing. Yeah. I will say though that they showed some of the stats they show for that stuff is. It's like.
It's very, very much cherry picking.
Yeah, cherry picking, jading it to like whatever point you're trying to make. Which, okay, I kind of get it, but.
Like, I mean, yeah, there's going to be stats here and there like that, but I mean when you just look at the baseline stats, I mean this dude is a monster.
Yeah.
And like I don't think there's a weakness on either side or at any position for either of these teams is the most mind-boggling thing. Honestly, one of the biggest weaknesses now for Vancouver was one of their strengths, and that was Bumper.
Yeah, well,
I think some people have kind of figured him out.
Yeah, and what it is you kind of let Bumper do what Bumper does, but you just have to be ready for it.
Yes.
Like, don't focus him necessarily, but...
Like, if he's in the perfect position for you to focus him, like, if he goes way too hard, you focus him, but, like...
Don't waste ults.
Yeah, don't waste ults on taking him out or anything like that.
Yeah.
Use that opportunity, like, who was it? I think it was... it was Meko. He kind of figured out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, Bumper just started charging. I'm just going to toss my ult in here and take him out.
Yeah.
Because why not?
And he, because Meko's pretty smart. And also, I think it's the, sometimes he gets so aggro that he doesn't realize he gets tunnel vision and doesn't realize what's going on behind him.
Yeah.
So, like, that happened a couple times today where the Titans are, like, setting up or backing out, and he is, like, face in 1v6.
Right.
And it's like, well, Bumper's dead.
Yep.
And what it is, too, the really good Brigidas in the league are taking advantage of that. Yes. Like Rascal today. I don't know how many key bashes he got. He knocked him at like two or three shatters, which for Bumper, that's like of the 15 he has in a map, but
right. But even still, like, that's a huge play because I mean you're negating that ult, then you're stunning him because most of the time that it happened, he just got deleted as soon as he got stunned out of it.
Right, because I mean there were a couple times where somehow he managed to work his way out of it, but
even then, if he did, it still put his team in an awkward position.
Yeah,
because they weren't able to they were expecting to be able to follow up, and then they weren't able to because obviously there was nothing to follow up on. Like it's really.
And New York dabbled a little bit in this, even though they got beat, and I think it gave. And San Francisco obviously has been paying attention, but it's in order to keep the Psycho Reinhardt under control, it's get rid of Hoxel. Because he's the best Brigida in the league. Rascal's probably 1A.
Yeah,
but
I would agree with that.
The resources that Hoxel is providing Bumper to go psychotic is what's fueling like all of the, him going off. If you get rid of Hoxel, which there were, I don't know how many times today, that San Francisco just deleted, they didn't care about what else was going on. Get rid of the Hoxel, that's gonna, because they won't reset. Vancouver. So, well, most of the time they won't reset. They'll try to continue the fight.
Yeah, they're very hesitant to, like, if they will not restart a fight unless they absolutely have to. And there's times where
which is fine with me
early in a fight, but but I mean that's part of their game plan and their aggressiveness is just like, okay, we lost a person, so we just compensate in this way or whatever.
We need to take out two. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that was a huge part of their plan is taking out Haxel because then that's one less resource that's going into keeping Bumper alive, and
I mean,
and everybody else in general too. Like that's taking away a stun. It's taking away a lot from this team. It's incredible how much Haxel brings to the table for them.
Yeah, especially in this matter, it's a lot of healing too. Like once he starts going, I mean, and it's not like Vancouver looked bad.
Oh no, not at all. That's the craziest part. Is like
they got San Francisco flustered a couple of times, like where I thought it was going to get. Like I was saying, because I said I thought San Francisco was going to roll them. Yeah, just because of their attitude.
I think that's how San Francisco wanted it to go.
Yeah. But they got a little tilted.
You could definitely saw that. I think Paris was the map where you're just like, oh boy, this could get real ugly for them. Like that full hold, woof, that was nasty. Like you could just see it on the faces of all the players in San Francisco.
And they had it, but Super actually, I don't know, like the fat finger is the only thing to call that graph. He had Shatter. Mm-hmm. They had literally 93% at that point, and he just, I don't know if he was just fucking around and just thought they had it and didn't see them in the building and just like dropped Shatter, and they needed it because they got absolutely destroyed right after that, and then they got full they got held, and then Vancouver went against the laws of this match, and they went fucking DPS, and I think also too they got flustered because of that, and then who was it? Was it Haxel playing Farah? I think it was Haxel. Yeah. He came in and he fucking deleted two people off the back, like Choi Hyobin and I think Moth.
His Farah is gross. He busted it out against Dallas as well, and that was just disgusting. Actually, one thing that I did want to say, I will probably have nightmares of Bumper playing freaking Roadhog.
That's disgusting.
That was one of just to single-handedly save a point like that was just absurd.
And you thought he was just good with a hammer.
Like, oh no,
give him a gun.
Pull you in too.
Yeah.
Give him a gun and let him hook you. Like, Jesus, that was horrifying. Like,
that scared the shit out of me. It's still, I don't know. I still have nightmares about Joe Nack's May. I don't know if anything's going to take that away.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he was good. You know, anyone that thinks that, well, this is the end of the Titans because we're going on a 3-3, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right. I mean, is there going to, like...
The playing field's going to get leveled a little bit,
Yeah, exactly. I think the playing field is going to get leveled a little bit, but, I mean, you're letting a guy like Haxel get to play Genji, possibly, again. And Xiumin Su gets to play Widow again, maybe, or whatever combinations work out. Like, yeah, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. There are a lot of teams that are going to be just fine, and they're one of them. But Haxel, when he used the knockback, Pharaoh's knockback, and he knocked two of them off the map, I'm like, oh, there's something not right now. It was a good thing it was halftime too, where they could just kind of, all right, reset. I think if it was just a normal match where we had the normal roll, well, never mind, it would have been halftime anyway. I think San Francisco calmed down and they came out and they were just focused a little bit more on the back half of the break.
Yeah,
because
they looked rough on Paris, but I think Gibraltar, there was a moment where you could kind of start to see things tilt in their favor.
Yeah, there was a couple of them.
They evened up the series on that, and like just the hold that they had on Gibraltar, I think, is kind of what really jump-started them. And then with how well they played on Oasis, like, but even still, like, it's the craziest thing is, like, with how well San Francisco played, like, every fight was so close, and there was just every fight could have gone either way at any time.
Yeah, and there were gigantic mistakes.
Right.
It was just people being outplayed. Because you had all of the same, you had the grabs. There was a couple times where I don't know how Vancouver saved a couple of fights where they had ult economy like way out of their favor, and they just came ahead. And they're probably, at least in this meta, which is why they're one of the best teams. They're almost as good fighting without ultimates as they are with.
Yeah,
which
I would agree.
There are a lot of teams that, even the teams in the playoffs, can't win a fight without either having sound barrier or trance going in or something like that, or rally. They don't need it.
No, that's the most absurd thing. Is like, neither one of these teams really does, and they're both insane at it.
I mean, there are so many times today where Sinatra was like at 100 energy just for no reason. Like, I'm like, how is he getting 100 energy? There's like, it seemed like there was nobody around, and I'm like, okay. Did you just start off at 100? Are we playing Workshop here? Yeah, but there were so many big plays in that Gibraltar map. Both sides were like insane.
Gibraltar map, and then honestly, probably where San Francisco showed just how far they've come was Blizzard World when Super got that shatter.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
That was an amazing shatter, man.
Absurd.
Yeah. That was fucking pog shit, man. You can't.
Yeah, like the very definition is that play right there.
Yeah.
When you say pog champ, what are you talking about? That.
Yeah.
What he just did. Just replay that on an endless loop.
Yeah, I mean there were so many. He had so many good ones. That one though was the seal the deal kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was a little worried for them on Blizzard World because it was taking them so long, but then once they got rolling, the fight seemed like Vancouver was panicking. which was weird.
Yeah.
To see.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen any kind of urgency or panic from that team.
Yeah. I mean,
not urgency, but like just like, oh boy, like this is getting bad type of situation.
Holy shit, we could fucking lose.
Yeah.
I mean, there was even a couple of times on Blizzard where Sinatra fucking, I don't know what the hell he did a couple of times with grabs. He just like kind of hit Q.
Yeah.
Just, okay, Q. Let's see what that does. What's this button do?
Some of he had some really hyper aggressive ones, like on the first map.
Some of that stuff
they were pushing them away on Li Jiang. He trapped them in that doorway.
Yeah, that was genius.
That was ridiculous.
That was. See, that's what Vancouver wasn't used to. That stuff. They're not used to that. All right. Most people in that situation, all right, they're going to reset. We'll play the doorway. The Zarya is going to shoot, right click through the doorway. Right. You're going to your Reinhardt's going to fire strike through there, just to try and get some ult charge. They were like, all right, we're at 75. If we don't let him through the fucking door, we win.
Right.
Which, they're big-brained and they're aggressive. That's what should scare people about San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do think that at times in this match, Vancouver's cockiness got to them.
Yes.
There were a couple times
agree with that.
Where they were like, they got this fight. We got 3 ults. We're going to win this. No big deal.
Yeah.
And you know what? Unfortunately for the rest of the league, that might have just been a slap in the face to that team. I was like, oh, we are human. Oh, we better go to work in this break and make sure we don't lose again. I mean, they're still undefeated regular season.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have that aspect of the whole fucking thing.
But, I mean, what I'm loving is now it's officially a rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
And it was before, but it's there. Now, both teams have a win, so it's going to be back and forth, and I feel like no matter what happens meta-wise, both of these teams are going to be going after each other hard.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be
excited about it.
I know, me too. It's going to be must-watch matches when these two teams play each other.
Oh, for sure.
And there's nothing in the schedule that says that they're not going to meet again, because both of them have an easy ride, except for I think Vancouver plays the Gladiators twice.
Mm-hmm.
And San Francisco's got like the Mayhem, Chengdu, Guangzhou kind of thing, and Atlanta maybe. I think, they got Atlanta the first match, but still, I'm just looking at it going, they're going to probably meet again, unless somebody, does something interesting in this stage that you're not expecting.
Right. Which could, I mean, it's possible. If it goes back to 2-2-2, I think that really throws New York right back into things, especially if it becomes like even if dive isn't the total meta, but
it's something they're comfortable
if it becomes a viable option, I think New York really jumps right back in there.
Oh God, yeah.
I think it makes a team like London a contender again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could really throw a big wrench.
And it throws teams like Philly back up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say even Hangzhou would be up there still. Shanghai. Chengdu would probably be able to hang in that thing. So, so I think... But I still think that these two teams, though, are just going to be hard to beat. And fucking Monty.
Unfortunately,
Monty was right. Yeah, I know. I looked at that too.
Stage, it's so lame.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's a possibility to play again. Maybe the playoffs will be a little bit more interesting in the third stage.
That's the biggest thing I'm hoping for right now.
Because, boy, these matches are this is also a snowball effect kind of fucking meta.
Right.
Where
they do not play each other again in the regular season until the LA homestand.
Okay, so what's that, like week 2 of stage 4?
That is week 5. of Stage 4.
Wow, Vancouver's got a shit week. They got San Francisco and New York in there? New York,
yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. And San Francisco gets the Valiant. I mean, that could be a very different Valiant team by then, but still.
I think also too, like, not to keep harping on this 2-2-2 lock thing, I think they're also hoping it kind of levels the playing field a little bit.
I think, yeah. Well, because that's the biggest thing we learned from GOATs in general is that you have to have so much coordination to do it properly.
Yeah.
And then, like, even then, like, you just need, like, a sixth sense of knowing exactly what your team is doing around you that you only get by playing with each other for a long period of time.
Yeah, because any team that brought a new player in fell.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you look at, like, Atlanta, if you look at Toronto, they kind of fell off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they lost big players, and then you basically starting from scratch again.
Yeah.
You're starting, but with a dive meta or a 2-2-2, someone could hero carry. When you have, like, people playing Genji or Tracer or whatever, you're going to have that. There's no hero carry in GOATs. There's smart play, and guys have amazing matches and amazing, like Super with the Shatters today. Or Twilight, but, like, some things like, or you know, Violet. Like, Violet had some critical trances. When do you're not going to say that from, like, an individual. It's individual, but it's not. It's I need to heal my team up. It's not, I have to win this game.
Exactly. All right.
Which is
so. I think that's good on stage playoffs. Let's do a little bit of a preview on the All-Stars, because I don't think we're going to really have all that much time to discuss it.
Yeah.
Before that, and we've been itching to
talk a little bit on this.
But let's talk Wednesday first. The fun, basically, like all the other All-Star games, the day that you're actually going to watch and kind of care.
Yeah, it's the day before.
Yeah. So we have some pretty fun things going on.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to start with the All-Star Arcade. The first map is going to be Sibling Rivalry 6v6, 3 Genjis, 3 Hanzos, an Assault
on Hanamura. Why not? And I like how it's one match, too. Everyone's like, well, they're doing match by match. It's map by map, so that's just fucking stupid.
I love it.
Yeah.
Then the next one is Healers Never Die, 6v6 supports only. 1 hero.
On Control Nepal.
Yes.
So
that's going to be awesome.
On the Zen map, essentially.
Right.
Terrible damage.
Damage only. 1 hero limit. So basically,
Hollywood.
Quick play.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty much Hollywood in any form in the regular game.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to play damage on that.
Right. Then keeping the peace, we got 6v6, everyone on McCree.
That's going to be...
That one is going to be so fun.
Oh, man, it's going to be high noon. A lot.
And then the tiebreaker map, which I hope to God we get this.
Yeah.
Thanks, but no tanks. 6v6, no tanks, 1 hero.
Yeah.
On Blizzard World. That's going to be awesome. Oh, man. I'm wondering if... So I imagine it's going to be like kind of swapping out the different players from
I would think
from each side for each map, depending on how it goes. So we're probably not going to get the tiebreaker map because the Pacific is just going to absolutely dominate.
Yeah,
from top to bottom.
Worst jerseys.
This is regardless of the voting. Like, just the Pacific has better talent in general.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Then after that, we got the talent takedown, which is always a hilarious thing to watch.
They already started too.
Right. Oh man, they've been hyping this up so much, and I'm so excited for it because my God, it's so fun.
And then the Sideshow feeder.
Yeah, and then the final is going to be Widowmaker 1v1, which, oh man, that was probably one of the best events they did last year.
Yeah.
So that'll be super fun.
Yeah, and then when you get into that, like, everyone's like back then, like it was like 20 years ago. Well, last year, people were actually playing Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
So now it's like, oh my god, we get to see Widowmaker. We get to see guys clicking fucking heads.
Right.
And then you're like, yeah, and you forget how good some guys like Saya Player or, Surefour, some of these guys that you really haven't seen all fucking stage. You're like, oh yeah. That guy.
And I wonder how much of some of that stuff is going to be. I feel like that one is going to be the one where it's not just going to be all-stars playing in it.
So they did that last year too. Kind of like the home run derby.
Right, like you're not necessarily an all-star, but you're invited to the home run derby because you've hit a lot of home runs, but your batting average is shit.
Yeah, we entertain the folks.
Yeah. So, all right, let's dive into these rosters because we've been chomping at the bit to just vent our feelings on this.
Guys, you disappoint me.
Right? And it's really not. It's not anybody that listens to this because I feel like anybody that's listening to us or just really is involved in this way, it's more the general fan base, and it's like this in most sports, but this one somehow
takes the fucking cake.
Is even worse than like baseball or any of the other ones because
NFL is everyone gets voted in and you end up with the starting lineups you have for this thing because nobody wants to play in it.
Right.
So you end up with all of the Chengdu Hunters because they're the only ones that wanted to play. Right. But it's different here.
Well, then also you have the guys who literally can't play because they're they have a pretty important game the next week.
Yeah, they're in the Super Bowl, so
So you're not even getting the best of the best with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So God, why? Like, why? Why are there 3 Hunters players in the starting lineup?
There's no one from Vancouver or fucking.
You don't have anybody from Vancouver. Nobody from San Francisco.
All right, I understand fan base size here.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, the Chinese fan base is a lot bigger than San Francisco.
I get it, for sure. But, like...
And then vote in
are two... That would be like having, like, nobody from the Warriors or the Rockets get voted into the NBA All-Star game.
And, everybody from the Phoenix Suns got fucking voted in. Right?
Maybe not quite that bad.
All right, I'm being mean. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of like a mediocre but kind of fun basket. It would be like everybody from the Jazz.
Okay, yeah. All right, that works.
like okay. They're okay. But why do you have 3 players?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of ridiculous. And then everyone that's fans of the Atlantic Division wishes it was last year. Apparently,
my God, yeah. How is Pine? Pine's been riding the Pine all week or all freaking like this entire season. Has he played 1 map?
And Arc is only viable now because he got traded.
Right,
because he was in the lead.
He got voted in before he even got traded.
Yeah, I know. Poco was. I can get behind. I can kind of get behind Carpe.
Poco and Jonak, and I'll give it to Fusions.
Yeah, maybe Fusions. And
that's about it.
Yeah,
like all around because like Fleda's not playing anymore.
Yeah. Jae-Hong is good, but he's not.
Jae-Hong is good, but he's not Twilight or
Violet or Shaz.
Yeah. Like
even and Fleda's not playing.
Ridiculous.
And everyone's
not playing at all.
Everyone
like,
wants
even some of the reserves are a little questionable to me. Like I get that like every team has to be represented or whatever, but like you're really gonna have Saya player in there? Like Cruz?
Or do you really? Who else on that roster would you put in?
I mean, Saya player. Yeah, probably Saya player for sure.
I mean,
but like,
you gonna put?
I mean, at that point, like, just I've always hated that rule.
I hated that rule. I hate that rule too. I'm not a fan. That's why
in any of the sports. Because I mean, I've had some absolute garbage teams in my time as a Cleveland sports fan, and like the year after LeBron left, I couldn't even tell you who made the All-Star game from that. I think it might have been
Z.
No, because he left. He went to.
Oh, that's right. He went to Miami.
He went to Miami. I think it was Anderson Varejao.
Oh,
was
good.
Our All-Star representative that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he played probably like 40 games that season.
Well, we got to pick someone. The rest of these guys are hot garbage. He's like lukewarm garbage. Let's put him in.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like that's basically to what we're at.
Yeah.
With some of these guys, like, okay, I mean, I guess if you're gonna take anybody from Houston, Dante, I guess, sure.
I would have taken Muma, but Muma's probably one of the best tanks in the Atlantic anyway, besides Mono.
But I mean, they already had Mono and Gesture.
Yeah, well, a Gesture too.
I think it was also a matter of like, can we really put Muma in over Mono and Gesture?
Yeah, all right, yeah, Dante, and it's DPS. They'll run DPS fucking shit all day long anyway.
Right.
They're not going to run goats in a fucking All-Star game, are they?
Yeah, so it was just, this whole thing is just ridiculous. Like, some of these things, and and even with the additions of the reserves and everything, like the Atlantic is going to get smoked by the Pacific, because even though these are the starting lineups, like they might play that for the first map.
It's the only chance
they even do that, but even
then, first map is Atlantic's shot.
Yeah, it really is. Bring back basically if they play dive, they're set.
Yeah.
Dive with a Widow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're going to do something like that.
But
no, I don't think they're going to, like I said, I don't think they're playing 3-3 in the fucking middle of an All-Star game.
No, definitely not. But then, like, once you can start putting the reserves in, I mean, Pacific is just going to absolutely crush. Like, any lineup thing you put in is just going to be, like, even the very best lineup that the Atlantic can put out.
Yeah.
It's still nothing to like the worst lineup you could put out for the Pacific Division.
The only way I would give it is if you maybe did Gesture. I'm looking at it right now. Gesture, Mono. Basically, if you combine the New York and the London players into the fucking team and just let them go.
Yeah.
Just all right. So maybe throw Ark and Jonak together.
Yeah, you go Ark and Jonak, with
Gesture, Gesture, Meko.
Yeah,
Prophet Carpe.
Meko's not in there.
Oh, he's on the team.
It's Mono.
No, they're both on. Seriously.
I'm not seeing. Oh my God! How did I not see? Okay, never mind.
He's under Dante.
There was another button that I didn't press because I'm dumb. I don't know how websites work, apparently.
Well, it happens.
I was only seeing half of the people. Yeah, okay. I could see that. You got Prophet there, too. You could throw Fury in there.
They have a shot, but...
Yeah. But, I mean, hell. Like...
The Pacific is way better.
Pacific is just hands down, like, top to bottom.
Even if you went to the 1A... If you went 1A team, what would you have? You had Oj, Space... I'm not counting the starters on that side, because no.
In the Pacific?
Yeah.
So, let's see. I would go probably... Honestly, I'd probably start Super. Then off tank, I'd probably go with... oh, God. Ameng?
Do they have an off tank? A Space?
Space is the only... actually have like an actual diva player. I would just run Ameng on fucking
Wrecking Ball
as my off tank.
Fuck it.
And then probably for your supports, I would go.
Oh man, that's tough.
It's a toss up between Twilight and Violet.
Violet Slime.
Yeah, maybe Violet Slime. Yeah, Violet Slime. Then you go Sinatra and either Sinatra Haxel or Sinatra Decay.
Yeah, or Sinatra Diem.
Or Diem, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of really.
There's a lot of thinking on one side. That's
right.
For sure.
The other one, you're just like,
yeah.
I don't. Prophet? Just put Prophet in there and hope he carries your team.
Prophet, do something. It's like Bob. Bob, do something. Prophet, do something.
Prophet, just go in and just get a quad kill on Hanzo or something.
Okay, we done now?
Yeah,
right? I did what you wanted me to do.
I think we probably should wrap it up.
I think so. All right. So that's going to do it, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us off and on all day. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We will definitely keep you updated on what's going on, when we're going to be on. We have coming up, we're going to have the podcaster roundtable, 2 weeks worth, and we'll be doing stuff in between there because there's going to be stuff happening.
Yeah, we'll probably do.
We'll hit you with something this week.
Depending on what gets announced on Wednesday or Thursday, as far as that kind of stuff, we'll probably do a show either Friday or Saturday. And try to throw one out there depending on what gets announced. If not, we'll try to at least do like maybe an all-star wrap-up show.
Yeah.
And then next week we'll probably do our stage wrap-up and kind of a stage wrap-up / halfway point kind of debating on where the teams are. We'll do a power rankings for our halfway point and all of that.
And then
our whole discussion, which we'll fully expect during the roundtable.
Yeah.
We're going to get most of that, but a lot of content coming for you guys over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's a long break, but we're going to fill it. And, we'll do things like, we'll see where teams are at. Other than just, all right, you made the stage playoffs twice, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But,
for sure.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for joining us today. If you are on YouTube, thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to hit a like and a subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. If you are listening to this on a podcast, please give us a rating if you're on iTunes or Spotify or any of that kind of stuff. And like we said, keep an eye out. Well, we'll be around. Who knows? We could stream at some point again this week. We don't know what's going on. After the All-Star game, we'll definitely keep in touch with you guys on social media, and we'll have a lot of stuff for you coming up. And we will talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
Catch you guys in the next one. Later.